Hi, my name's Todd Trapani. I'm pastor at Faith Church in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And I want to take a few minutes this morning to talk to you about creating an effective marketing message. When we talk about effective marketing, what we're really saying is, how can we create a message that's so powerful that someone who comes in contact with it will be motivated to act on it, and in this case, act in a way that they will visit your church. We want to create a message that can be used any place, anywhere, but with the same goal. We want to motivate people to act. So marketing is all about motivation. Oftentimes when we think of marketing, we lean toward information. That people aren't motivated to act or to visit simply because they don't know about us yet. So we lean toward, let's tell them all about us, and then they'll show. So we produce marketing materials that may sound something like this. We're Faith Church in your city at this location. Our service times are at 10 o'clock. We have anointed singing, powerful preaching, energetic worship. We have programs for your youth. We have programs for your children. Our minister is educated and good looking. We're on social media and you should follow us, and we want you to visit. We also have the 3 magic words of any church marketing: food, fun, and fellowship. See you Sunday morning. Well, man, stand back. Open the doors because they're coming our way, right? No, we know that's not the case. Information is a poor motivator. If it was a great motivator, all we would need to do is create pamphlets with our church information and carpet bomb our neighborhoods. Game over. But information isn't an effective motivator for this reason. Information is all about you. It's all about your programs, your church. It's not about me, the person that you're trying to reach. And frankly, I don't find you that interesting because I'm not looking for another church. And just you telling me more about you doesn't make me want to attend. What I am interested in is me, my problems, my issues, the things that I'm going through. This is what makes the most effective type of marketing is emotional marketing. Emotion is a powerful motivator in driving people to act. This is why you can remember commercials that you saw years ago that made you laugh or cry, but can't remember the billboards that you drove by this morning. It's also the reason why Jesus taught the way he did, in emotional stories, parables, because it caused people to make a connection in their heart and it motivated them to act. Effective marketing is when we can take emotion and tie it with an action. And that's what we want to do. So an example of this, and one way to accomplish this, is using a marketing trick we call the one-sided question. When we ask a question, that question is always going to be answered truthfully, even though it might be just inside someone's mind. Let me give you an example. What is one thing that you hope nobody finds out about you? No matter who is watching this, that elicited an emotional response. It's a personal response. Some of you may be reaching for the off button right now because maybe we just crossed a line. But you see what happened? It elicited an answer from you. Now, how do we take that energy and tie it to the message that would motivate them to attend? So I'm going to give you 2 examples. One is based upon information, one that we just talked about, and then another one where we use emotion to drive a decision. See if you can sense the difference. The first one is this: we're Faith Church at this location. Here's our service times. Here's our programs. Here's our location. Here's all about us and our departments and the people that attend. Here's the things that we offer, and we would love for you to visit. That's option 1. Now let's use that same question that we used before and see what we can do to tie that motion to making someone be motivated to act. What's one thing that you hope nobody finds out about you? But what if there was a way where you didn't have to deal with the guilt and shame of that anymore? What if there was a way you could finally be free of that? No more guilt, no more what if someone finds out? What if there was a way where you could find a brand new start? You see, this very thing is happening, and it's happening just down the road from you. There's a place where people who are finding a brand new start, and they thought they could never find it. But how about you? Would you be willing to risk a few minutes this Sunday at 10 a.m. to come find something that you thought maybe you could never find? You see the difference in the 2 approaches? So what we did is this, is we start with a question, evoking emotion. We start by getting them to think something that is missing. It might be something like joy or peace. Maybe there's fear, something that they feel is missing in their life that we know that Christ can provide. We ask a question to evoke that emotion, and then we move them to the second step, which is this, allowing them to see what could be. What would that look like if you could find that complete life? What would that feel like if you could find the answer? And allow them to begin to envision that. Then the third step is we connect that to what's happening at our local church. This very thing is happening. People are finding what they've been looking for. People are finding that thing that they thought they could never find. And it's just down the road. And then we follow up with a simple invitation. How about you? Would you be willing to risk a few minutes this Sunday? Do you see how that evokes the emotion that could motivate a whole lot more than just telling them when our service times are or what we offer? We want them to feel that this is personal, that this is something that they need to experience for themselves. And so once we have this message, we can begin to use this everywhere. This can be used on a website. This can be used on a social media site. This can be used in printed materials as well. But the important thing is this, it's emotional and it's evoking a response. It's more than just telling them about us. It's reaching to where they're at. Even in conversations, this can be used. It was a few years ago, I was speaking with the vice president of our bank, and she was mentioning, as she was looking at our numbers, that how our church was growing. And so she asked the question, are you doing a lot of marketing? I said, well, not really. I said, you ever see one of those movies where they throw the Christians to the lions? And she looked at me strange, like, where are you going at with this? And I said, do you ever notice how throughout history we read about these people who faced such horrible circumstances, and yet there was a peace, there was a strength, there was joy? They had obviously found something that was greater than what they were facing. And so I looked at her and I said, that's what we found. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you found that? Can you imagine facing the problems that you face? And we don't face gladiators or lions, but you know what? We go through all kinds of hardship. We go through all kinds of pain. We found something that's greater. She looked up at me. She had big tears in her eyes. And her next words were this, can I visit your church? Your church is so different than mine. And right now I'm going through something. And I want what you say you found. Do you see how an emotional response goes right to the heart? What if I would have answered her question of, are you doing marketing, with something like this? Yes, we have a three-pronged approach where we're addressing this demographic and this segment. Wouldn't have connected. But here's the thing. When Jesus spoke to people, he went right for the heart because he knew that's where motivation starts. Shouldn't we, his church, act exactly the same? Remember, as you are putting together your marketing statement, first, information's a poor motivator. It's not all about you. Second, emotion is a powerful motivator. Make it about them. And when you have this, begin to use this. But let me close with this warning. That when you begin to market this way, you better be ready. Because people who show up come hungry. Because you've touched something in their heart. You've touched a need that they haven't been able to fill on their own. And when they come, they're not looking at what size of church you have. They're not looking at how great your building is or even how many programs or things that you offer. They're looking to find something that they've been searching for their entire life. And that you're saying that people are finding it here. And that's exciting. Because isn't that the very people that God calls you to reach? I'm so excited what God is doing in your ministry. And hopefully this little time we had together is causing you to think differently about your marketing and how you choose to reach out to those people. God's going to bless your efforts. Thank you.